this story had so many experiences during the period he was in coma. But he only told me this particular one among them. Maybe as time goes on, he might send in few other experiences too along the line while outside his body, wandering. He said he came across a man in his early 30s. That is, he died in his early 30s. Now, this man had black eyes. What I mean is, not the black as per ghost, no. As though he had been crying and he's no more crying again, like he has reached the end point of crying. This person was sitting by the roadside, close to a primary secondary school. Now, I didn't really know why he stayed there, but I noticed that realm not having any time existing made staying in one moment not a big deal. I noticed that anytime I would cross there, now I had no reason or the purpose of wandering. I just kept going to places, watching things that didn't benefit me. It just happened. I had no purpose. It was as though at that point I had no worries existing in me. Unlike the period when we are alive and we have so many things in our head. One of the periods when I was wandering, I decided to sit next to this man. Now, I asked him what he was doing here. All through this discussion, he never lifted up his head to look at me. Meaning that how I could see his eyes where that black was from afar. Yes, there was no barrier in anything. There was no hindrance in finding out anything. But I noticed that he never looked at me. He never connected. When I asked him what he was doing there all the time, he told me his babies, these were the school they attended, that he ruined his family due to a side chick. Now, this side chick was his ex-girlfriend in university before he married his wife. Never for once did he go for school run. He would always leave it to the wife or the maid, domestic staff, whichever. He was so focused on being with the side hen. He didn't have time for family. And that was when he was coming back one day from one of the hotel trips. He had a fatal accident with a trailer. That was how his life came to a halt. Yes, we can both understand that his heart was with his children, or he felt as though he was guilty for not being in their life, or he was just receiving his punishment before the actual punishment. I do not know. But he stayed on that spot. And now, to make things worse, his children were no more attending that school. But due to he had a bond with that school once in his life, he felt glued and connected to that school because of the history of the children attending that school. Another thing this man said to me was, everything wasn't worth it. All the heartache he caused his wife wasn't worth it. He starved himself of his children growing up. It wasn't worth it. The whole pleasure of staying with the side hen, losing his life, and now that side hen is currently married, because when this man came back to life, he went to browse on his name on Facebook, or about his name on Facebook, because he asked if he could deliver a message to his wife. Another twist there is, this dead man who would always stay in front of the school could tell that the owner of this story wasn't dead. When the owner of this story came back to life, he reached out to the man's family and told the wife the little message he had for them. The wife seemed less bothered that he got all he wanted. And now, to make things worse, the side hen is happily married. Yes, along the line, he came back to his body. No prayers were needed. He just woke up in his body on a certain day. But unlike some people who would forget everything they had experienced in that realm, he could remember everything he experienced in that realm. And he helped deliver the message he got from that man who would always wait in front of the school. His wife forgave him. Yes, but we are not sure if he had stopped staying in front of that school.